So we've talked about the conservation of energy. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. The energy can be transferred between objects, or the energy can change forms. There are many different forms of energy. We're focusing this unit on mechanical energy, which is composed of potential and kinetic energy. The potential could be gravitational potential or elastic potential. There's also thermal energy. We probably more commonly refer to that as heat. That's really just the movement of thermal energy from one object to another. Electrical energy, sound energy, radiation, which is basically what we refer to as light, or things like X-rays or microwaves would fall into that category. Nuclear energy, chemical potential energy stored in the bonds within substances between the molecules and different atoms, and many other different types of energy. So energy can transfer between these different forms. So we can have electrical energy, which would then change into sound energy through a speaker. You could have electrical energy, it turns into light radiation energy. So many different things that you can do with changing forms of energy. Here's a simple example of energy changing forms. There's a ball rolling along a flat surface, comes to an incline. We see it to start with, it has a potential energy of 0, and let's say it has a kinetic energy of 20 joules due to its motion. That'll give you a total energy of 20 joules. So as the ball rolls up the ramp, it reaches a point here. Let's say here it has maybe a potential energy of 8 joules. We don't know how much kinetic energy it has. Now we do know it's lost kinetic energy because as it rolls up the ramp it ought to slow down as it goes. And we know we had a total of 20 joules to start with. So since we now know we have 8 joules of potential energy, the remainder of that 20 joules must be kinetic. And so we know it now has 12 joules of kinetic energy. Again, it's lost some kinetic energy because it's slowed down. As it keeps rolling up the ramp, it'll reach a point where it stops. This would be the highest point that it would reach. At that point, we don't know exactly what the potential energy is, but we do know that the kinetic energy is 0 because it stops up there. It's not moving anymore. And the total energy is still 20 joules, so that means the potential energy at this point must be the rest of that energy, which is just 20 joules. So again, the energy is going to be conserved from every single point along the way. And again, you can use this basic idea of energy converting forms from potential to kinetic and back to kinetic in various different situations, whether it be pendulum swinging back and forth, roller coasters, ramps, things falling, so many different examples that you can use this for.